that this time will also pass, and that in bad times, and you think about it, this time will also pass.
Specifically, Allah will not burden someone with something that their soul can't bear.
Hey there, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back for another amazing video. Thank you guys for coming back. Today, I got someone very special to me, someone who's actually motivated me in the initial days to start this YouTube channel. I've learned a lot from this brother, and I've taken from his skill sets and started this channel, and I've grown it so far. This is Mohammed Khan. I met him in university. Since then, a lot came from him. He's won a competition in working bodybuilding. He has a YouTube channel for psoriasis and how to fix that, and health and mental health. And this is why we're here today, to talk about mental health and spiritual health and physical health and how that benefits you. And at the end of the day, because we're going to be talking about how it benefits you financially and how to make that much money, he's going to also talk about that from his perspective. I'll talk from my perspective. This is going to be a very nice podcast. Mohammed, for yourself, anything else that I missed out on?
No, you said it very, very well. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in the world. As my brother Ahmed mentioned, my name is Mohammed Khan. My YouTube channel name is the Psoriasis Bodybuilder. For those who don't know what psoriasis is, basically it's an autoimmune condition where the body attacks the surface level of the skin by showing red patches. It is very similar to eczema, which is I feel like a more common, well-known disease, condition out there. So it's just essentially what I do after trying multiple ways of treating it, from unnatural ways like going to the doctor, medications, and whatnot. I figured that in the long run, the only way to improve, honestly, any health condition is going to be the natural way, through nutrition, through improved mental health, exercise, fasting. Anybody guys who just fasted during the month of Ramadan, Eid Mubarak to you as well, even though that was like more than a week ago. Alhamdulillah, also like connecting more spiritually, Islamically, reading the Quran and stuff like that has helped me a lot. So I share as much as I can on my YouTube channel over there. And over here, mashallah, we have Ahmed Jawa, who during the time I was in university, guided me to be, inshallah, a better Muslim. And he's a great brother as well. I loved having him during the time I was in university. And yeah, today we're just kind of connecting. And even though both our channels are a little bit off, I'm more like towards the health and, that side of things. And his more about like halal and halal money and finances and stuff like that. We both decided to just today come up together and share, self-improvement content and knowledge, and also how Islamically, and to those also who are, probably non-Muslim, can also benefit from this as well, because it's going to help you be more healthy, help you make more money, and also improve your overall life. So without further ado, we'll get right into it, right?
Yeah, sounds good. So, guys, working with Mohammed, I realized one thing, and something huge from him, and you have to admire what he's done. Like the motivation to continue going, even when the mental health wasn't good, even the things around wasn't good. He kept going, and that, in his purity, showed me what a human is capable of doing when they just put their mind and their heart to. So I want to start off with talking about your journey from finding out that you have psoriasis, and then you're still working out and you winning it, like you're going into competition for bodybuilding, and doing well there, and then now continuing and developing yourself into your future career and stuff like that. And then we're going to connect this back to the concept of physical, mental, and spiritual health.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, so I think like a lot of people, when life first just kind of hits you right in the face, and you get you face something that you never really expected and planned for, because I feel like a lot of times, especially myself, we plan out things a lot. I'm someone who naturally is a more overthinker. So, journaling and planning helps me out a lot. The truth is, the one thing I realized, that I could plan something for next week, like a work routine or whatever it may be. And something comes up, life comes up, your car doesn't start one day, like you feel sick, or you have a sore throat the next day, anything can come up. So like, one thing I've realized is that when I first got psoriasis about 4.5 years ago, is that you have to almost in life, expect the unexpected because things will come up. So instead of just focusing on like what can and can't go wrong, you just need to develop the right skill set, especially from a mindset point of view, on how you will handle the bad times in life and how you will handle the good times in life. Because
So
right,
explain this a little bit more because like I want to understand what do you mean by mindset of good times and bad times?
so during tough times, right? Like whatever
Okay.
you're faced with right now, could be health problems, could be money, could be job, could be debt, could be relationship issues, whatever it may
Mhm.
be. You have to understand is that the bad times will never last as long as you are doing something about them. And good times also don't last because like whatever you go, let's say everything is going great right now, you're traveling the world or whatever. At some
Mhm.
point, like things will move on. They can get better, they can get worse. Inshallah, may Allah protect us from everything. But you have to say Alhamdulillah and be grateful for when the good times come and pray that like you have the strength to grow and become
Mhm.
better from the bad times. So for me, particularly with psoriasis, is that at that time, if we're talking about it from a fitness point of view, I was very overweight. And this gave me an opportunity to eventually, compete in my bodybuilding competition where I dropped like almost half of my total body weight from, I think I was about 285, like 285 pounds. And on stage, I was about 152 pounds.
Mhm.
So right now, I'm not that. Right now, I think I'm like 210.
Uh-huh.
210. So I'm like, trying to go back to maybe like a more healthier weight, inshallah. But like, that taught me a lot about like how important it is to like, make sure that you're eating quality foods, that you're not overeating, that you're not like binge eating, and you keep like the right type of foods in your cupboard and your fridge.
Mhm.
And like from that, what I understood is that what, there's a book that talks about like how hard times create strong men, and then strong
Yes.
men create good times, and then good
Yes.
times create weak men, and then weak
Yes.
men create hard times, and that cycle repeats. And you know what? That is very true, and you can just take that in your own inner circle, right? Forget about the whole
Mhm.
world. Just focus on your inner circle. If you're going through a hard time right now, you have to understand if you push through and you do something about it, that inshallah you will come out to be a stronger man or stronger individual.
Mhm.
And if you're at a good time right now, then you need to be grateful for it. You can do more better with that. Don't always like indulge in self type of indulgence. I feel like a lot of times, also in the past, like when I was going through a good time, I would just keep on like self indulging. Like let's just say, for example, you have good money right now, right? Instead of
Mhm.
always thinking about like yourself and I want to have the more nicer car, the more nicer apartment, the more nicer clothes. Especially from an Islamic point of view, give back, help other people, inspire other people. So alhamdulillah, as my condition improves with psoriasis, for me, a way to give back would be creating videos, trying to help other people, just one individual at a time. And if I can, just motivate someone just from like the tough time that they're in right now to commit and start improving their life, then I did something good for society. So I think that is really important to understand, is that really hard times are there to test you, and God, specifically Allah, will not burden someone with something that their soul can't bear. He will
Yeah.
only give you something that you and your soul can bear. So you need to understand that, and of course do everything that you can in your power to improve your condition.
Yeah. Well, this is very well put. And I think one thing you talked about was like bad times and good times both don't last. But you need to have been a constant state of Alhamdulillah, constant
Mhm.
state of thanking God that, even if I'm losing, thank you, God, for putting me in this situation. And I will overcome this. And even if you're in a good situation, thank you, God, for putting me in here. And, I will use this time for something that's good. There's a saying, and I've actually said this saying many times before, and I love repeating it because it is one of the ways that helped me get through many tough times. The saying, when the Mughal empires, the king had asked his vizier as like his commander, tell me something that when I think about this saying, in good times I get sad, and in bad times I get happy. So the commander had said, "This time will also pass." And I mean, this sounds so much better in Urdu or in Punjabi, but this time will also pass. So think about it. You're in good times, and
No, makes sense.
you bring it to your head that this time will also pass, and that you're in bad times, and you think about it, this time will also pass, right? So it's like it kind of helps you balance out, and I love it, and it's always pushed me through. Okay, one thing I really want to focus because I know about this. You had psoriasis, and you then went like you're not in a good mental state, but you went still pushed through to go to do the bodybuilding. That motivation, and a lot of people don't understand. They have $1 billion ideas here. They have 1,000 good ideas here, but the only thing lacking them to go forward is that motivation. And I'm trying to get to the root of the cause. Like, how do I get that motivation to just
Mm.
pump through and just keep going? Like, where does that come from? How did that come for you inside?
Yeah. So, like, for those who are like, perhaps are gonna watch this later on my YouTube channel, they know that I still have psoriasis. I could like probably show you, but alhamdulillah, it's a
You're
lot.
doing well. Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
it's a lot better. And from where it was 4.5 years ago, where I had it in my hair, my face, like literally 90% of my body, my whole back, like there are a lot of my areas of my body that are alhamdulillah a lot more clear now. And I've just learned a lot more about like how to actually tackle it, even when it kind of comes and goes. But but what has helped me a lot is like what we were talking about earlier is that when if like you want to know what's the motivation behind like what's
Yeah.
going on, right? To be honest with you, like one thing I've understood is like motivation kind of comes and goes. There are days where, like, for example, the workout feels amazing, the pumps are better, and everything's going well. And then there's sometimes that, like, the workout just feels like a drag and a pain in the butt, and like you don't want to even do the workout. So, what's more important is going to be discipline. And I'm gonna get to that, but before I get to that, what is gonna help you get out of like, let's just call it a rut where like just everything right now just sucks. Your life just sucks. Everything is going bad right now. And I've been there, and sometimes life will bring those moments here and there as well where you feel like you're just stuck right now. Is first of all, you need to understand, of course, bad times also don't last. Number two is going to be what's going to help you actually take that action and get up and do something about it is the
Mm-hmm.
mindset that when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you're frustrated and you've had like enough and you're just so like angry like that's what happens. I get so angry sometimes, or like when I look at my skin in a good way, because like I get so frustrated. I'm like, you know what, I have either a choice today. I can either like eat healthier today,
Yeah.
and over time, inshallah, my skin will get better. Or I can just eat junk food, feel good now, but then tomorrow, a week, a month, a year later, I'm exactly where I am today. Like nothing has gotten better. I'm just living from one day to another and another. So you need to like, I think two things. You need to be sick and tired from being sick and tired. And number two, your why. You need to like even just grab a piece of paper and journal this. You need to like write like
Okay. Okay.
why do you want to change your life? You need to
Mhm.
actually write this. Don't just think about it, write it as well, and then constantly think about it and
Yeah.
rewrite journal. I have like lots of journals from my past, like from 3 years ago, where I've just written the same thing again and again until like it becomes like stuck in your head. And then
Got it.
that becomes your
Yes.
motivation.
Yes.
Like for me, like it's like, okay, why do you want clear skin? If you just say like I want clear skin, not enough. Same thing as someone who's like wants to lose weight. What? Okay, let's start with that basics. Why do you want to lose weight? Okay, is it because you want to fit better in clothes? Is it because you're gonna look more attractive? Because I mean, of course, anybody that loses weight looks more attractive, men
Yeah.
or women. Is it because you're gonna have more confidence? You like feel more comfortable in your clothes. You feel more comfortable going outside. Is it because like sometimes people who are overweight, they have joint problems, they can't move comfortably every time they get up and go anywhere, and like everything hurts? Is it because like the pain is too much? For me, for psoriasis, it was more about like forget about the clear skin. It's more about like when I have clear skin, I am definitely naturally, I don't even have to try, more confident, right?
Mhm.
During the summertime, especially as someone that goes to the gym, I feel more comfortable wearing a t-shirt at the gym. When my skin is clear, my other motivation is that I can help more people, and more people will follow me on my YouTube channel on Instagram. Not necessarily in terms of followers, but like more so follow me as in like they will see that, okay, like this guy has done something that I want, so I can learn something from him. So I want to be like that type of teacher. So
Yeah.
those are like my whys. I can help those people, which
Got it.
in the long run can also, like, just gonna say, it can also result in financial gain as well. Like, you can
Yeah.
that way grow your YouTube, your Instagram, which means that more people will follow you, listen to you. If you do coaching program, if you do this or that, that means you can make more money. More money, then that's where you have to define that as well. What does more money? Sorry, what does more money like mean to you? Okay, well, it could be like I can help pay off my debt faster. I can, possibly, maybe have in the long run, maybe a slightly nicer car. Maybe it could be like, oh, because, I've always wanted to travel. I want to, inshallah, do Hajj. So that can be an opportunity that allows me to do Hajj. So you have to, like, you really, like, you can tell I've given thought to this a lot. And whatever your situation is, doesn't matter what it is, you need to write as many whys as you can, because if you have like a list of 10, 15, 20 things that, like, if you get up and do something and your life improves, that you can reach these things, it becomes way easier. Because during the dark times, especially like when you don't feel like it, you don't feel like getting up early in the morning. Like today, I didn't feel like getting up early in the morning. So what will happen if I don't get up early in the morning? Well, my school is about to start soon. I won't be able to get there in time. I won't be able to work out before in the morning before I go to work, which is something that, like, I know at the end of the day, I'm way too tired to go to the gym. So, like, if I get up early in the morning and I keep it consistent, it's going to be easier for me to get up every day in the morning and go to the gym. What happens when I go to the gym? My mental health improves. My skin improves. What happens when my mental health and skin improves? I am more confident. I know I can make more money. I know I can, like, you have to, like, really, like, go
through the whole thing. Yeah,
exactly. Then it becomes in your head. And David Goggins, he talked about this a lot. And one thing that he said is, like, you have to tell your mind that, like, this is what we do. If it's like, for example, you want to start waking up early in the morning at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., whatever it may be, right? When the alarm goes off, instead of snoozing and your brain saying you're tired, like, I could just sleep a little bit, bed is so cozy, you have to train your brain and tell yourself, no, brain, be quiet. This is what we do. If you do that, honestly, like, for just 5 or 10 days, it will be really easy for you to wake up before the alarm goes off. I'm telling you, it works, because as a society, we have become more like everybody that says that, oh no, it's okay, like, sleep in. Body's tired. Sleep in. Like,
society is accepting of everything right now.
8 hours of sleep, you don't necessarily need to sleep in more. It's just that like, you feel more comfortable, because, like, early in the morning, it's usually a little bit more chillier as well. It's a little dark still outside, so you kind of want to, sleep in and relax and do all of that as well. But, like, the truth is like, this is not. If you want to change your life and you want to reprogram your brain to think in a different way, you're gonna have to do tough things. You're gonna have to go through days where, like, sometimes you don't sleep that much. Sometimes you, like, things aren't going your way, but as long as you have the right mindset, over time, inshallah, 1 month, 6 months, a year from now, you can definitely improve that as well.
So, like, you picked up on, like, 4 or 5 really major points here, and I've lived through this, and I agree with you. So one thing you said was, for sure, write down what you want. And the reason why, even when you're taking notes, you write down, is because then that thing becomes more natural to your brain. You start learning it faster, and you start, like, incorporating it within yourself faster. This is why they always say take down notes. Even though professors are giving you PowerPoints, they're like, no, still write down notes, because it's easier to learn. So on a daily basis, if you write down your goals on a daily basis, in the morning times, at night time, your brain knows, okay, this is my goal. And not only do we think about the overall final goal, but we make small goals which help with that final goal. So slowly, you make tiny. So I've always said, you make weekly goals, you make daily goals, and you make monthly goals, and then you make a final goal, right? Like, for me, I've talked about this. My final goal is financial freedom. Own a house without ever having to pay interest on it, ever. Full cash in Canada. Like, I know that's difficult, but that's my goal, and I've made micro goals to achieve that. So
it's not impossible. It's just about, like, you already did step one, which is, like, you made the commitment, and now you need to be patient while you take the action. It might take 5, 10, maybe even longer years, but, like, you can get there. And most people, we can talk a whole different topic about this as well, but most people in the Western culture think that, like, the only way to get a house is a mortgage. The only way to now it's different. Now, like, the only way to get a car is finance or interest and debt. The only way now,
everything.
Like, years ago, everything. Like, I noticed on, like, clothes. I needed to buy, like, safety shoes for my school starts, and the shoes were like $50, and it gave me the option. They're like, oh, you can pay like $15 plus like 30 cents interest and pay it off in like 5. I'm like, are you telling me I'm gonna finance like $50 like shoes? Like, I really don't think, alhamdulillah, like, anybody should be in a financial situation to wanting to do that. But it's not that people can't afford it, a $50 shoe. It's just that this society is teaching you that everything you want a laptop, you want a phone, you want a fridge, you want a dishwasher, anything you want, forget about house, even forget about car. But anything else that you want, headphones, whatever you want, you can get it on a loan and monthly payments. So
Yeah.
it's ruining people's mental health because
It
people are
is.
depressed.
People are horrible with financial literacy, and this is why like the whole YouTube channel is there, so you start understanding. Anywho, so the goal is to get your brain in one place with your final goal and your micro goals, and then, as you said, know the reason why. Honestly, this has been one of my greatest drive. Like every time like I go around and I'm not focusing on my my ambitions. I remember my reason of why I started, my reason of why of getting there, and this is the same thing that I've seen in a lot of successful people. Their reason of why. Why did they start? Why are they there? Why did they write that goal down on that piece of paper and keep going? And not just know that why in your head, write that why on the piece of paper. Write that why. Tell that why to people. Then, for me, how I kind of made force myself into a situation where I have to achieve this why or achieve this goal is because I told people this is what I'm gonna do, and it's a caution of a little bit of being the having that slight ego in a man that you're like I told him and I told people I'm gonna do this, so I have to achieve it, or as if I don't achieve it, I've lied to myself and society, right? And I've also obviously wrote down my goals and my ambitions, and I've told people closest to me that this is the end goal that we're working towards, right? Every time you meet those people, it's a slight reminder. Remember, you made a promise to somebody for that. Depending on what that goal is, right? Because the thing is, you can lie to yourself and you can live on with life. But if you lie to others and you live on with life, you'll feel a little guilty, and that guilt will revive that concept of you keep going. Don't stop now. There's somebody else's account, like someone else's expectations on you, right?
Yeah.
So we got the concept of goal making and writing down and now knowing why. And then you said the next thing is to start putting into actionable implementation. Like that's where the motivation comes from, right? You keep going. Like for example, you said waking up in the morning and making it part of your daily style and you forcing your brain to think about it. One beautiful thing you said about this is that you do it a few times and it becomes a habit. Once it becomes a habit, then you're in a journey, you're in a process. Because I'm a math guy, I love everything in algorithms. I love everything in a formula. So once you get every single aspect of a formula in line, then equals success. Success is kind of written for you. For example, you know what your goal is, you know why it is. You start writing down a plan for it. You start acting upon that plan, making it into a habit, and boom, that's where that motivation equals that success. And you
Exactly.
start working forward to it.
And I think for me, the biggest struggle has been, and something that I've started to like mentally more meditate on, is the one skill that you can't actually, I guess you could say like action take, is going to be patience. This is
Mhm.
where it's all mental. You could be doing everything to get to XYZ. Inshallah, you will. But if you don't have patience and you don't love the process, it's be hard. And
Yes, yes,
there will be time where you don't see results. You could
yes.
work out, and for example, even with psoriasis, I've had individual where like people would eat good for like a month and be like, why do I look exactly the same? Why is my skin still like this? Well, I'm like, you need to be more patient. You need to give your body, excuse me, more time and time to like improve. So some things in life, effort is important, but then the rest is like just time and like almost just like exponentially over time, you will get there to wherever it is that you want to go. So I think, mastering some and what's his name, famous boxer, Conor McGregor. I watched a video about him like shortly talking about like patience. He's like, man, you got to master the skill of patience. And how do you master the skill of patience is something that I'm still new to and getting to, because it's one of those skill where like you can't actually take like physical action to do it. It has a
Mhm.
lot to do with patience. It has a lot to do with maybe you being humble and allowing yourself to like understand that things do take time. Like great things take time. It's very
Yes.
easy to eat unhealthy and get fat, but it's very hard and takes way more time
Mhm.
to get in shape and lose weight and eat healthy. Like
Mhm.
it's anything. And this is where, like, in the Western culture, it's very easy for us to nowadays, understand that, like, anything bad I want is like readily available. You want junk food?
Fast
You don't even have to go through
express delivery.
Uber Eats. Everything is like,
Express
like
delivery.
it's coming to you. You have an app, you scroll through like hundreds of restaurants, you get whatever you're craving for, it delivered to your house, and you don't even have to get up and go anywhere. Let alone
Yes,
that, like, of
true.
course, they have drive-throughs and all of these stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's the problem with like the Western culture. And like I say this to people: the Western societies have the most technological and medicine advancements, yet we have the most health problems and
Yeah.
mental health problems.
Yes.
So, like it's like other parts of the world, like, especially third world countries, they don't have as much health problems, and they're not that technologically and medically advanced, right? But then they also don't have like that much more health problems either. And why is this? It's because, like, as a society, like look at how much more easy it is to like get junk food, get garbage food, and also things like, that at home don't do anything. Like
Yeah.
it's, anyways, like that's a whole other
This,
topic. But like
yeah,
it's
this is probably hinting towards another podcast of talking about Western societies
stay
because
tuned,
I'm
guys. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Let's maybe do another podcast because currently I'm living in the Middle East and I've traveled. And before I was here in Jeddah, I was in Pakistan and staying there for about 2 months. And I've saw the lifestyle there. I'm seeing the lifestyle here. And then I was in Dubai, so I know how what factors are affecting the concepts of mental health and just general motivation and success. Like this is one aspect. There's also the other concepts of privilege and other aspects of people being entitled. You'll see a person who works their back off and starts with $0. Like, I mean, let's take the Google CEO, Sundar Pichai. He was super poor. So he said, my ticket to come to America was my father's. I think he said monthly, 1 month salary, or one. I think he said 1 year salary. Nothing. He started from nothing, and look at now, $200 million is his yearly salary. $200 million. And so, this is the concept of not being entitled, not being. I mean, this is a whole different podcast, and we'll jump into that for sure. Okay, the next thing which you really talked about was okay. So we touched upon the concept of motivation, but a layer on top of motivation, or maybe you could say a layer below it, is mental health. But if you don't have the mental health to keep going, then no matter how much motivation, I mean, they work in harmony. Your motivation is not going to be as fruitful because you know what you want. You want to go get it. You're motivated to get it, but you deeply are depressed and
Mhm.
you don't know what to do. Now, how do you put yourself in a mental situation? And this is we're gonna be. I'm gonna talk about my personal life. I think I think brother also you're gonna be Mohammed. You're gonna also be talking from your personal opinion. This is not medical. This is
Mhm.
I'm not gonna be quoting a lot of theses here, but I'm gonna be quoting my own life, right? Talking about spiritual health, physical health, and I think it was physical health, spiritual health, and how that benefits your mental health, pushing you towards your motivation and achieving that goal. So,
Mhm.
what's your how would you say you work on your spiritual health and your physical health, and together them working towards your mental health?
Mhm. I would say for me, when it comes to mental health, this is a very interesting topic. I think, like, before you start anything, for sure, like, motivation and all that, it's great. But like, one thing I've realized is that anything that you want to achieve, if your mental health is not in a great place, it's hard. So this is something that I can actually relate to now. Uh, Beginning of this year, like, I noticed like my mental health get worse, and also like it was my condition was getting worse, and I wasn't making the best habits. Slowly, I started to actually work out less, which resulted in more weight gain. And this was like, a couple of months ago. I'm now, like, I'm kind of back on track. And sometimes it happens, like life just kind of pushes you and you feel like you fall back.
Mhm.
But there's a learning curve, right? Like, this is like something that I understood a lot. It's like, so what I was doing during this time, like during the months of January, February, March, and like right before Ramadan, is like, I was working hard. I was like, as in, like, I was working a lot of hours a week. I had my full time job. a part-time freelancer creating videos for a gym, and also doing like this YouTube stuff. And in my head, like there was also this like thought bouncing around of like maybe wanting to change fields and do something different with my life.
It
And
wasn't. It wasn't the whole you being single.
huh?
It
No,
wasn't
not necessarily. Like that is something that like of course like I'd like to down the road shall like get married and stuff. But like for me, it was more about like why do I feel all so like I'm working so hard yet I haven't really actually saved that much money, and why is that my health is getting worse? Because then I started to journal on or figure out. I was like, oh, okay, look, I'm working so much, I don't have time to cook, so I'm eating so much out, which means that I'm spending more, which means that I'm eating unhealthy, which means that like my psoriasis is gonna get worse. So now I started to backtrace it, and this is where I think like sometimes you telling exactly. I was just in that loop, like I'm working hard, I'm working 60, 70 hours a week, then don't have time to cook, and then I'm eating unhealthy, so I'm spending more money, and then my skin is getting worse. And this is just where we're going at. And this is where
Yeah.
sometimes you need to realize and really put your ego aside. And I'm someone that like after you're reading a lot of books, watching a lot of videos, podcasts, like I really became. You guys don't know who Gary V is. I became very much like in that cycle of like you just work your butt off. But I think like I don't necessarily think he's a bad guy or anything. But I think sometimes what we forget to realize is that everyone's situation is different. In
Yeah.
my situation, as someone who has underlying health condition, it's a little bit different. Like I have to put in time, effort, and give it attention. I can't just, be like, forget about this. I'm just gonna go work 80 hours a week and be miserable for my health. So
Mhm.
this is where I realized, and actually, like by the end of this month, and like a couple of weeks, inshallah, like I decided that I was going to leave my freelance work and focus more on eating healthier. And this month has been improving my health and my mental health, especially because now I have more time to sleep enough. I have more time to work out regularly. I have more time to cook and eat healthy meals. So I can better take care of my mental health and my condition. Yes, I'm making, a little bit less money, but instead, to compensate for that, guess what? Now I'm also spending less money on eating out.
Yeah.
Instead of spending like at one point, like, eating out and eating unhealthy, spending, like $900, $1,000 a month on just food, right? And having your health condition get worse. Well, why not you eat healthier, eat at home, eat fresh cooked meals and spend, five, 600, and now your health is getting better. And yes, maybe you're not making an extra 400 or 500 from the second, freelance job, but now you're also saving 400 or 500 and you're improving your health. So
Yeah.
really, from a financial point of view, it ends up balancing to be the same because now you're saving money and you're improving your health. Whereas before you were making more money, but then your health
Mhm.
was getting more. I think what I'm trying to get at is that more doesn't always equal better. More money, more whatever doesn't, because you have to realize like what is the most true thing important to you, and this is going to be customized to everybody. Of course, more
Mhm.
money is great. Money is important. It will allow you to do better things with your life and eat healthier and all those things. It's important for sure. But when you focus so much on just one thing, especially again, particularly me and people who have like psoriasis, you have to understand. Like for me, like I thought about it and I look at it this way: if my condition is bad and I'm making so much money, what am I doing with my life? I can't even improve my own
What's the
current.
benefit of that money?
Exactly. There was a thing in like Pakistani culture. I remember my mom telling me about it. It's like this really rich man who needed a kidney went to a very poor man on the street and is like, I need something from you and I'll give you lots of money. And the poor man was like, I'll give you anything that you want and do anything. He's like, I need one of your kidney. And the poor man looked up to the rich man and said, I'll give you anything but that. And
Mm.
this just goes to show your mental health and your overall health is the biggest wealth. The saying health is wealth. It's true. It's the biggest wealth that you
Yeah.
have. You
Yeah.
can accumulate and you know what? When you improve that, I will tell you this, you will make more money down the road because
Yeah.
naturally, like you almost like, so sometimes like I felt like when my condition was really bad, I'm like a boat trying to sail across the ocean and I took off the anchor, but yet the anchor fell back down and I'm trying to sail forward, but the anchor is just like yanking me,
True.
yanking me, and I'm
Poetry right
stuck.
there.
And I'm
Yeah.
stuck. So like,
Yeah.
like it's like, well, how can I like actually swim down and cut off that anchor? And for me, that was like, you need to improve your condition. You
Mhm.
need to cut that so that like once that is, inshallah, like more better, then now you can sail. Instead of sailing at one speed, now you can sail at twice the speed.
Yeah.
You can be
Yeah.
going faster
I like it. I like it.
because now
Yeah.
you don't have that anchor pulling you.
Yeah. Exactly.
So this is very, very important, and I think this is where the mindset of like sometimes you do need to take a step backwards in
Mhm.
order to be able to take a step or two steps forward.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I gotta agree with you. For me, also, like, so the spiritual health and physical health. So let's start with physical health. For me, like, I remember when like I started gaining a lot of weight as soon as I graduated, because I was working at IBM 60 plus hours a week, and I was like, I finally graduated. I don't like, I let me just enjoy myself. And plus, I was at home, so I'm getting good cooked meal. And my older brother loves to cook, and I'm talking about very nice dinners and meals, and but he doesn't like to eat. So guess who eats? I'm like, it's a win-win situation for me. He's
Yeah,
out
yeah,
here making amazing meals. My mother's making amazing meals. I'm loving this, and I was living at home, so Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. It was a fantastic time. But so I gained a lot of weight. I wasn't doing a lot of exercise. And I realized because of that, I was becoming lazier. I was like, because my body is using a lot of the energy to consume the food, I'm getting in this little loop where I'm just eating and I'm sitting and I'm working and I'm feeling more down because I'm not being active. I'm not letting my body, clean out the system properly. All that stuff. Like you become in this loop. And due to that, my motivation like of doing the next thing, which was my YouTube. My idea for the YouTube channel was a year before I actually started, and because of me being in that loop, and obviously this worked towards it. Like I just didn't take that action. I just didn't take the step. And imagine if I was working out, I was exercising, I had that energy, I had that clarity of mind. I could have started earlier and right now grown the I mean, YouTube is one thing, but growing my personal portfolio, my investments, my knowledge of crypto, my knowledge of Islamic finance, my knowledge of just finance in general, real estate, commodities, gold, blah 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 blah. It would have been so much. I would have been much more advanced. So I I got out of that loop and started going to go play basketball around the house, and then I started working out, and so that kind of brought back my clarity and my physical health, which helped me towards then starting my YouTube. But and so now this has been something that's been going up and down. But something that works in very harmony of this, because you can have great physical health, you can have great financial health. You can be in a very good state where you're like you got abs and you're shredded and you got the dream wife of yours, you got kids, you got money, but your inside, your fitra, as we say, your nature is not happy, and that's where spiritual health comes in place. And I've been in that, like I, your spiritual connection always fluctuates a little bit, and so, and I can sense it when everything is fine, but just because my spiritual connection is a little bit lower, my spiritual health is not as close to Allah as it used to be, or just because sometimes you get busy and you're not praying on time as much, you kind of lose, and you can feel it. You can feel it. So understanding what's the value of spiritual health and understanding your connection with God and how it develops you into a much stronger individual. It's very important because that's for me. That's the priority. When you talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the bottom level is your personal needs, your security, and your food and stuff. I have a layer below that, which is probably the most important for me, which is my spiritual layer. I think when I don't have that, everything above is weakened. When you have
100%.
your like, imagine being in a state where regardless of anything that happens in your life, good or bad, anything, you just say it's okay, alhamdulillah. I'm in this. I'm in. Am I getting food? Am I comfortable? Has God protected me this far? He'll protect me again. I'll be okay.
Of course,
That mental state is the most powerful stage that any human could be at, because
of course.
because you're not living in the concept that this world is what your goal is. You're living at a concept that okay, I'm not this like I'm here just for some time. My goal is much bigger, and being that spiritually advanced with yourself and having that connection with Allah, you can be in a state and be confident and comfortable always, regardless of what situation you're in, regardless of what situation you're in. And so this has been personally for me is that regardless of what happens in life, you'll always see me saying, I'm healthy, I'm good. My friends always call me and like, how are you doing? I'm saying I'm doing fantastic. Or I sometimes also say I'm doing handsome. And it's because I'm always in the happy stage because like for me, stress is not coming from a lot of areas. Because I'm not making it a thing of stress. I lose my job, I say it's okay. No problem. Alhamdulillah, I'll find another one. There's a thousand. There's 100 million jobs out there. I'm pretty sure I'll find another one. And if I don't find as good of a job, it's okay. I'm eating. I'm okay. I'm wearing good clothes. I'm surviving. There's no problem, right?
Alhamdulillah.
And even when my physical state was bad, that spiritual state was like, it's okay. Things are gonna get better. We're gonna keep moving on. And so it's always that the power of that spiritual health, your spiritual connectivity, and your how you are with your fitra. Fitra is what we say, your nature inside, your internal nature. You can have your what you think is nature, but your internal nature is what determines truly what your mental health is. And for me, that's what helped me develop my good mental health, push me towards my motivation, and then push me forward. And now I know with all this entire pillar and these columns of success or columns of needed, the columns needed for success, I'm working towards my goal, which we talked about in the beginning. So that kind of wraps up a lot of the discussions. What do you think, Mohammed?
No, 100%. A great chat as well. I think, for anybody that's going through a tough time right now, you need to just understand that, like, number one, I think you really gotta understand that, like, you're not alone, man. If there's hundreds and hundreds of people that are going through the same thing as you, and hundreds and hundreds of people who are also overcoming whatever that you are going through. So I think, like, in particular for me, for psoriasis, like what helped me is like, following and listening to other people who also have the same condition and has overcome it. And for
Uh-huh.
me, like, that's the kind of the reason why I started this, is that because I want to have, actually, sadly but truly, a lot of people nowadays, the number of people getting psoriasis is growing. It's actually something that, sadly, it's a growing problem because of all the the processed food, junk food, and all everything. There's just like so much that goes into it. But I think, like, definitely, like, having someone that, like, has gone through, kind of like a mentor, right? Like, has gone
Yeah.
through and is doing, alhamdulillah, better right now, then, following someone like that can help along. So I want to be able to be like that beacon of hope for people who have psoriasis and like conditions. And I think, like, outside of that, anybody that's like, whatever your goal is right now, first of all, you need to be humble and grateful for what is going right in your life right now. So for me, that's been stuff like very simple, basic. We forget about these. We complain so much about, like, money, and, like, my job like this, and my house like this, and I don't have a car like this, that we forget about, like, the simple things that God has given us. Like, we're not blind. We have eyes to see. We have
Um,
to speak with. We have ears to hear. We're not deaf. We have legs that we can walk with.
yeah.
Take away like one or two of those things, and trust me, your life will become a lot harder. And those individuals who have those, conditions or whatnot, they know it. And those people are one of the most, like, humble and kindest people I have
Yeah.
ever met. It's like they know that, like, nothing else in life, like, it really matters. Like, like you said, like the job thing, for example. Like, if you're in a place where, like, you got let go from your job. I know during COVID, like, a lot of people struggled with that financially as well, right?
Mhm.
But maybe it's also a beacon or something that's telling you to change your lifestyle. Because for me, at that time when I first lost my job, I also had a car. I was living with my parents at that time, but I had a car that was on a loan, and it was financed, right? And I was under this impression that, like, everybody drives a newer car that's on a loan or lease or finance, that
Yeah.
I should do it as well. But then now, like, when the COVID and everything happened, and, like, I stopped working, it made me realize that, like, wow, like, that is something that I shouldn't have done. So I made the necessary, alhamdulillah, steps to come out of it and get rid of that. And and sadly, this is what the Western society, like, sucks so much, because when the pandemic first happened, a lot of people were struggling financially. But guess what? Like, as someone who's, like, passionate about the automotive industry, like, in the automotive world, like, in terms of, like, dealerships and cars, these guys dropped interest rates. These guys dropped prices on cars so that even though people did not have that much money, people were more motivated to get into loans and finance newer cars and all of that as well. And guess what? People did exactly that. People
Yeah.
did that. Right now, I'll give you another example. Another example, especially over here in like Canada, America, right? Right now, gas prices, like I'm sure you know, are like, poof, they're terrible, right?
That's why I'm here in Saudi. That's
Yeah, right.
it's
So
like
you're
70 cents. It's like 70 cents a
oh
liter.
my god, Canadian?
Yes. 70 cents a
Wow.
liter.
So here right now today, like literally, they're like 201, 202. So
Yeah,
they're like
I'm not
triple
coming
the amount.
back. I'm
No,
not coming back.
okay, right. So here is so much, right? But like here's the thing, people don't understand this, is that everybody now is like, oh my god, gas prices are going so high. And you need an electric car. But now this is the problem. People don't understand this. People have
I'm
to
buying
understand-
Tesla stock. I'm buying Tesla stock.
people are now like, getting more hybrids and electric cars. But here's the problem. A lot of hybrids, specifically electric cars, not cheap. Cheapest car that you can get right now, like an electric car, would be like, like a Nissan Leaf or a Toyota Prius Prime
Hey,
Edition.
beautiful,
It's like
man.
20. But here's the thing. Because they're fully electric, right? And these cars haven't been around for a long time. A new one, can go anywhere between $20,000-$30,000. And then most people, first of all, don't go to those cars, right? People go for like, the Mercedes, the Volvo, Tesla, right? Cheapest Tesla, like a Model 3, the small one, 70,000, 75,000. So this is the problem. People are like, oh, gas price is going so high. I'm spending an extra $200 a month on gas. Let me go finance a car and spend another $600 a month on monthly payments so that I don't have that $200 a month gas. But why? What's better financially? You tell me what's better financially for you to get into debt and spend an extra $400-$500 a month on paying that car, or just sucking up the fact that you have to spend an extra $200 a month on gas and maybe lowering some of your expenses, maybe picking up an extra day shift at work, maybe doing a little bit of overtime, maybe, I don't know, whatever it may be, like do your thing, maybe like, side hustle, maybe Uber, maybe like a part-time job, whatever it may be. The biggest thing is like, how can you, instead of focusing on like making an extra $200 to cover that gas cost, how can you just lower your cost?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like the dumb things that you're buying all the time. Maybe it's the eating out. Probably is the eating out. If you just stop eating out, I'm sure you'll save more than $200 a month, man.
Hey, man, the food
we're
tastes
going
good.
way off, but like people, this is the biggest problem that I have in the Western society is that I've learned is like this culture is really making people mentally, physically, like it's sick. It's sickening.
Yeah. So this is let's let's do another podcast on this specifically. But guys, just to summarize, what we've talked about, it's like we went off topic here and there, but this is very important. Like overall, what we're talking about, we talked about the concept of establishing goals, getting the motivation, and then having the right mental health and spiritual health and physical health to act upon it and to achieve those goals. And this is important because a lot of you guys are out there that have being in business, you mean thousands of people have billion-dollar ideas, but maybe only 0.1% take action on it. So to take action, you need to have this motivation and you need to have good health, physical, mental, spiritual health to implement on it. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you guys did, like, share, subscribe, comment. And if you didn't like it, still comment. Let us know what you guys think and your opinions. Tell us about your stories. We kind of share a little bit about ourselves. Tell us about yours. Because when you talk to one another, you grow faster. So tell us about your stories in the comments and check us out on our other social medias. All the things will be in the description. Take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum. Do subscribe, like, share, hit that bell icon for notifications. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram for more content. I'll be uploading more stuff in all of these social media